Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Comics Only, the only podcast where comedians talk with other comedians. My guest today is comedian, writer, and serial child abuser Gabe Flick.
Gage Flick.
Gage Flick. Did I say gay?
It's a gay fuck.
Yeah, gay fuck. All right. Well, we're off. We're demonetized. That's okay. We were never monetized in the first place. All right, Gage, tell me, how often do you beat your children?
I try to just, mainly if you beat other people's children, you don't have to take it out on your own.
Yeah.
So when I get mad at her, we have a park like right across the street from my house. If I'm really mad at her, I'll just run over there and punch a kid. and then come back.
And you're, hey, sweetie.
Yeah, and
to
feel
your
way
child.
better.
Yeah, exactly.
On
That's fun. Thanks for driving out here, dude. It's good to be out here in East LA, huh?
It's not too bad. I knew you were west, but you're in like a nice little patch of the west side. Well, at least right here. I haven't been to your house.
Yeah, no, I'm not far from here. I live 10 minutes from here, maybe.
Yeah,
Not even.
30, North Peoria, not too
It's
bad.
not too bad.
Not too bad. It's a nice little spot you have here. I like the Mimi's Cafe paintings that you guys have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reason we got the curtains is to cover up the one of those that's on that side. So that's not my backdrop.
Yeah, it's like 2020. Everyone was looting, and you went to a Mimi's Cafe and stole their art and put it in this office. It's nice. Also, a little sovereign office. I noticed you guys have an American flag in a trash bag.
That's the backdrop from my other podcast.
Okay. I was gonna say, Eric, will you fucking communist? What the hell?
It is in the garbage bag. That's just how I keep it safe.
Yeah.
Riffraff off the American flag. I should get at a proper case. I put the mixer in a suitcase.
Well, do you and Lamar fold it to like Boy Scouts every time you're done? You stand together and do the whole thing?
We do, yeah. It's pretty cute.
Oh, isn't he a veteran, though?
No.
Why do I think that?
I don't know, dude, because he shoots off lots of loads. I don't know. Lamar's fun. Dude, Lamar has some really crazy opinions. I think he might be a black Israelite.
Like Ice Cube in the 90s?
Yeah, that's when the that's like the black people that believe like some white people stole being Jewish from them or something.
Yeah.
That's like the basic. That's like almost right, Gage.
Those are the dudes who, they're not Black Panthers,
Yeah.
but they dress all black, black shades, always mad.
Did I really call you Gay Flick? I'm kind of stuck on that.
I think he called me Gabe Flick.
No, Gabe?
Yeah, which happens all the time.
Yeah, but
one
Gage
letter-
is like
one letter off.
often. Yeah.
I get Gabe more than
Sorry,
Gage.
I shouldn't. I have a short attention span, clearly. Let's go back to the black people having been the first Jews.
Black Jews are, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun mixed match.
Let's just logically get to the bottom of this for a second. I'm curious. For sure, the people in the region of the world where like Jesus was, and he was Jewish,
Black.
were black, right?
Black.
Right?
Black.
Is that not accurate?
It's from a continent where most people are black. I don't know why I'm saying it like that.
I don't know either, because
Eric, the Africans were blacks.
most of them,
Yeah.
and then Moroccans are,
And then they have like Charlize Theron.
yeah, and South Africans.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the donkey.
A what?
That doggy just walked by.
Oh, I thought you said a donkey.
Cute. I know. That would be
A
crazy.
small donkey. I've seen donkeys near my house.
Yeah.
El Burros.
So you're a big Trump guy, huh? Sorry, I should put that on you. Yes, and that, Gage.
Well, the blacks. You hear the way I say blacks.
Yeah.
Is that where you just put the pieces together? No, not necessarily.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't think you were. I assumed you didn't really care about politics. Honestly, if you haven't figured out by this point that like
None of it.
none of it mattered, dude. People love to be like, oh, the Democrats are so right. The Democrats are in on it. They're not actually trying to beat the Republicans.
Yeah,
They're all paid by the same people.
They all tag
There's a
team underage
reason
chicks together.
that the political party that always has the interest of the working class at mind is always like, oh, we have to follow the rules. We can't do that. And the other one is like, oh, we'll just do whatever we want and just dominate all the time.
Yeah. I think when you have enough money and you get into politics and shit, they kind of like toss you to a side. Like the way you get a jersey.
Yeah,
like they're like, all right,
exactly.
you got to rep these guys.
Yeah, I
Rep
wish
these guys.
I could convince myself that any of it, like, we had any control, but
But you know what I don't like politically? Passion.
yeah. Yes.
I hate passion. If I meet you, I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you're really passionate about it, I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you talk.
All right.
I don't even if I agree with you.
I think most comics, you kind of have to be that way to be a comic. The worst thing is watching someone on stage and you're like, oh, this is just you like getting off your political beliefs. It sucks.
Yeah, because I think part of it's trying to be open-minded, right, and seeing bullshit. And if you're so far like into one side, you like stop allowing yourself to do that.
Like I would rather you just tell dick jokes for real.
Yeah, why can't we just do that? You've seen me on stage.
Why do people hate dick jokes so much?
I started comedy. Oh, we're going to talk about comedy. So what was your first open mic?
No, we can do whatever, man.
I started comedy shortly before Trump got elected the first time.
Yeah.
And quickly saw like what that does to open mics. It sucks.
I'll tell you why I like
Sucks
Trump.
ass.
He said he's going to end citizenship for the children of like birthright immigrants. And I'm just really hoping Aldo gets deported. That would be the funniest thing that could happen.
They don't do that. They go to New York.
I've been writing letters to the ICE
With
guys there.
on.
I'm like, hey man, there's a guy.
I think Aldo is older. He's like when the Dominicans were sending like 16, like 20-year-olds to play in Little League.
Yeah.
That's Aldo. He's actually 32.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you'll be a lot more successful faster. Everyone thinks you're 19.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense, but then Aldo stays up till like, 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh, yeah, without doing cocaine. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe he is 20.
Yeah, and he wears cool baggy clothes.
Yeah, right. It's tough.
Smooth, silky skin.
But anyways, I keep calling the deportation office, and they're not getting him.
They're not getting Aldo. No, you got to start. It's like taking down a mob boss, right? You got to start with their associates.
Yeah.
Andrew Oriana got to go. He's got to go.
You saw that Aldo.
Daniel Bridget's a black Jew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things are coming full circle, dude.
Yeah. Was he? How did that work for him? Was he adopted by Jewish people, or?
I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think so too. I think I've heard him talk about it.
Yeah, there's bits about it.
Yeah. I am not good at paying attention when other comics are on stage, but I think I've heard something like that.
Yeah.
That's the worst. And then the worst is comics who get mad at you for like not wanting to listen. And it's like, can't, dog. Fuck you.
I
like,
can. When you get scolded.
Yeah. Especially at an open mic.
And you get scolded and it's never somebody funny.
Yeah.
Never a funny comic's never like, hey, you need to shut up and listen. It's always some turd, dude. Because they're hoping that the principle applies to them.
Yeah.
And then you have to sit there and watch them eat shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's an open mic. It's just supposed to be brutal.
Yeah.
You go to a ton of them. There are some. I actually do feel like more likely to sit there and pretend watch.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not genuinely watching.
Oh no. I mean,
but how
could you? Especially if you haven't gone up yet. You know what I mean?
Brutal. I'm thinking about everyone's thinking.
You know
about
what I'll
themselves.
say is sometimes after I have a good set, I'll catch like 2 or 3 comics after me.
Yeah.
And you'll catch me really laughing and having a good time. But most of the time,
your shit's over.
Exactly. I'm not thinking about my set anymore. I'm happy because my set went well. And I want to see the next few people to see if I did better than them.
I'm gonna fucking bury these guys.
Dude, I mean, the best feeling in the world is when you do well on a show that nobody else does well on, and you're like, I'm a comedy god.
Yeah.
And then, the next night you bomb on a show that everybody else crushes on, and you're like, oh, everybody hates me.
Yeah, it sucks though, like that feeling lasts for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you go in the car and you're like,
Oh, I'm going to crash this thing on the way home.
we'll go to a taco. It's like how we athletes celebrate with big parties.
Yeah.
When we have when we have success, it's so fucking short lived. You go home and jerk off by yourself.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah. Get like
we did
some food you shouldn't be eating.
Yeah. We picked stuff we shouldn't.
Yeah. Drinking.
We picked the dumbest.
Smoking, snorting, whatever, shooting up.
We picked the dumbest fucking thing. As far as like
Yeah.
what you give for reward ratio, the dumbest fucking thing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna quit comedy and start shooting CEOs. That's gonna be my new thing. Everybody loves that guy.
I think there's a job opening for me at United Healthcare if they need a new CEO. You're that fucking guy.
You're like, look, I'll take the bullets. Give me a bulletproof vest. I'll be your guy.
Mass-wise, it's a lot more likely that I'll survive like a shooting.
Yeah,
because my organs are like smaller targets.
it makes sense.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, having a bit of weight on you works. Wasn't there some like really fat mobster that got popped like 20 times and lived because it was just all in his blubber?
That's a real thing that happens. So as soon as a bullet hits you, it starts to expand, right? And
there's like enough fat.
If you have like 6 inches of fat,
if they got hollow points, that's not getting anywhere.
it's gonna get to your heart and go. It's just covered in sludge.
Yeah. Oh man.
Stabbings too, dude. There's fat people survive stabbings.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about body positivity. You know, you got to look at the nice things about being a fat slob.
Yeah. Do you think this is gonna get us in trouble if anybody ever hears it? But do you think it'd be fun to like stalk people, like do a Dexter basically, stalk people that everybody hates and just fucking kill them?
That's hunting, but with people. It's the most dangerous game.
So fun.
The most dangerous game. You're describing a classic book. Stalking your prey, waiting for them to come out and get their coffee in the morning before a big conference. And shooting
Dude, that story is so crazy. I remember in 9th grade when they made us read that, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, the most dangerous
we're
game?
Like 14. What are you doing right now?
I like it.
It's fun.
I loved like whenever you were a kid and you were reading something, you got a glimpse of something. You're like, oh, I don't think this is appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
The same teacher that made us read that story had us read a poem that he wrote, and then at the end of it, he was like, "That's the story of when I had to shoot a 14-year-old in the face in Vietnam." We're like, what? Because like it was like really like
I'm 8.
Yeah, it was really like bang. Like it was very poetic, and you could kind of tell what was going on, but not exactly.
Yeah.
And then he just leveled with us. We're like, whoa, dude.
Was it like haiku?
You know, it was very
Brains flying.
Yes.
Children dying.
It was written that way. It was not a haiku, but it was very much written in that structure of like not much is happening. They're just describing brief images with like a lot of like bang. Like
you'll have to Google that later. That sounds fun.
I'll try and find it for you.
14-years getting fucking shit.
That's one way to deal with your trauma, dude. That's a lot to put on a class full of 9th graders.
I hate poetry.
What was your worst experience in school?
In school?
Yeah. What was 9/11 like for you?
9/11, I
was that sick or not?
9/11 was a great memory.
Dude, my teacher put on the news and we were watching people jump off the building, and she was like, maybe we shouldn't watch this, and turned it off.
So I was in California, so far from anybody. I don't know anybody there. It was not like it was sad in nature, but like it wasn't personal.
Right.
For me,
of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my mom wakes me up and goes, "Oh, something terrible happened. There's bad people are attacking the World Trade Center in New York." I'm watching on TV. I'm like, "Holy shit! Like that's crazy." I'm in 6th grade, and then go to school. Our plans for that day in my 6th grade class got thrown out the window. They rolled in the TV like they did in a lot of classrooms, and we watched on TV. Then we got an announcement that they're only doing a half day at school. So my dad got to come home early from work too, pick me up. We fucking swung by McDonald's, got like a shitload of McDonald's, went home and watched it. I don't know, like my dad's cool. He's always been there, but like we don't do a lot of shit together. Yeah. And like we sat there together, ate McDonald's like fat fucks and watched 9/11.
That's probably like,
it was actually like a kind of a wholesome day for me.
And a weird way, that's like the best and worst thing that you could do for a child. In one way, you're like removing so much of the trauma of like a terrible thing. Yeah. And then in another way, you're just being like, yeah, anytime you feel bad, just eat your feelings.
Some kids have memories of like going fishing with their dad. Mine is like, oh, another jumper. See that little specks on is that person who doesn't want to burn to death.
Yeah. We're getting into the why you're a comic part of the show now. Like, I enjoy trauma.
I like
conflict.
My good memories are just traumatic. Worst high school thing.
I wasn't quite fucked up enough to be a meth addict, but I fit right in with the comedians.
Yeah. One time I told a kid I thought a girl was hot in like 7th grade. And then at lunch he went and told her. And then there was like, oh, she wants to talk to you. But she didn't want to talk to me. So I went over there, and her friend had to be the one who was like, she doesn't want to talk to you. Get the fuck away from us. And I was like, and I'm all frumpy.
That's
frumpy
so
7th
mean.
grade Gage.
That's so mean.
Dude, that's so fucked up, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's heartbreaking.
Never forget a face.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see her again. I've been doing this bit about stalking, about how it's like I know I'm dead inside because I do not understand stalkers. It's like I think a normal relationship is too much work.
No, I would lose them too because like I'm addicted to my phone like most people now. So I'd be in the car and miss them.
Where'd she go?
Fucking scrolling Instagram.
Where'd that bitch go?
I can't stare at a bedroom window for 8 hours. What the fuck? Dig through someone's trash. That's gross.
Oh, yeah. Have you been going to bullshooters recently?
Here and there.
Oh, God.
Circumstantially, I've missed it a bunch of times, but
Me too.
I like that shithole.
Me too.
I
need to start going out.
I like
more
the people there.
There again.
That's what it is. I like Herb. I like McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're the best. Shout out Chris and Derek.
It's a little boys club.
Do Derek impressions.
You gotta come to bullshooters on Tuesday.
Is that Donald Trump?
They got great wings.
I love McDonald's. We both are doing Trump.
Animation described us perfectly, and she really nails Derek. Where Derek is tight, like he talks like he has a neck injury.
Yeah.
So it's up here, and then I'm more like up and loose, and then Justice Roundy's low and loose.
Justice is cool as hell.
When Justice performs, he's like this.
What a weird name.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's his name.
Yeah, he has kids too, you know.
Yeah, I'm aware he fucks.
Dude, anytime a comic, especially a young comic, has kids, I think it's so crazy. I just start telling people.
Well, I nailed it.
I never would have guessed you had, like, when I found out you had kids, I was like, what?
Dude, it's discovery now.
I totally changed my opinion to you. Not in like a bad or a good way, just like, oh, interesting.
Well, because there's two of me.
Yeah, and more of a good way when, like, you've, like, not done this podcast before because you had to hang out with your kids. And I was like, okay, he's not like a bad dad.
Yeah, probably.
You know, it'd have been a bad sign if you'd showed up and you're like, yeah, I could do it tomorrow, no problem.
I have my kid.
Yeah, your kid's in the car.
I give her an iPad.
You're like, it's winter. They'll be fine.
Yeah, it is actually not too bad right now. She'd be fine. She would. Not like that dumbass and where's that guy that recently locked his kid in the car?
Yeah. What? Yeah, there was. Yeah,
he was playing.
There always is, dude. Constantly.
Yeah, that happens.
Like, the one playing video games. Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine
playing Warzone?
I think there's one that just like straight up forgot to drop his kid off at daycare. Just went to daycare, stopped, like got on the phone, drove off, got to work, left the kid in the car at work. And
is that genuine, or does he think he's on some downers?
I mean, who knows what anybody's on these days?
That's a
after being a drug addict, that's what I was gonna bring up was benzos. After being a drug addict, you realize that like them prescribing opiates and benzos is so out of line, and like there's no reason like basically anybody who is trying to function in society needs to be on those drugs.
No,
it's like if you need those drugs, you need to be basically in a bed recovering from cancer or like a severe mental.
Or just health. Be over everything.
Yeah. But, like, you should not be out trying to, like, function. It's Xanax, especially, and drugs like that. Like, opiates, you can, like, you're really high, but you can, and you'll, like, nod off, but you can kind of keep your wits about you a little bit. But, like,
enjoyed a little Xanax back in the day.
When I was a meth addict and, like, we'd get into Xanax, dude, you'd wake up, like, be like 40 hours missing. Yeah. You'd be like, what did we do?
Because you would be high on meth and then come
not
down.
Sleeping.
And then use Xanax.
Yeah.
And then.
But like, you'd be like not. So, but you take Xanax to try and like go to sleep. But sometimes you just like keep doing meth while you're high on Xanax. And you like took too much Xanax. So you're just blacked out. Like.
They call that like
and
when
you just like redose like
heroin
compulsively.
And coke at the same time or heroin and crack at the same
Speedball.
time. Speedball.
Yeah.
Is that like a meth version of that?
Yeah, basically.
Like a broke version of that?
Yeah.
Is heroin expensive?
Yeah.
It is?
Especially now. There's not even like real heroin anymore. It's all like fentanyl, I guess.
That's what they're
I'm not like, yeah, I guess I should note that I work with drug addicts.
So
now.
you're aware of You keep your ear on the streets.
Yeah. So I know what's going on.
So real heroin's not a thing anymore?
Not really, dude. Not from what I've heard.
Yeah.
You know?
Holy shit.
It's just fentanyl coming. China apparently is like making a bunch of fentanyl and just shipping it to the Mexicans.
Do you think that's strategic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally
so,
do.
Yeah.
They're like, let's fucking destabilize this country.
The TikToks
Dude,
being
it's
different?
literally what England did to them for like 200 years with opium.
Yeah.
The opium
Just
wars,
get
dude,
'em
they
in
just
there.
like
Get 'em in those
shipped in
dens.
opium, had opium dens anywhere, and just like constantly facilitated the Chinese
And then they
like
could just
working
go in
class being.
and do what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's crazy.
That's Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Is it the English.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Interesting. Yes.
It's so crazy.
Crack epidemic.
Yeah.
Similar.
the CIA is like, oh, we can replicate this. Have you read? You know about that, right?
What?
The CIA,
the strategy.
like the CIA, like created the crack epidemic.
I know. But they were following the lead of the British and China.
That was a joke, but probably it's
funny.
kind of
It's
true.
funny to think that like they're trying to follow, and then you just get.
It is basically
like,
the same idea.
It's like, this is not what we had in mind.
Yeah, let's
Guys,
That's a
squeeging your window.
great idea. Let me do my crackhead. Hey man, let me suck your dick. That's pretty good.
Mine
I
is
like
just from
it.
Menace to Society.
I'm trying to get better at doing voices, dude. I'm horrible
I
at it.
can't do accents.
That's so hard. And like, I think the only way to get good at it is to like practice compulsively. And I just
got it.
kind of
And-
can't
and-
do
and
it.
just-
Like, I feel so crazy just like talking to myself in a car doing an accent. But like,
You don't do that? That's the best time to do it.
I mean,
I talk to myself in my car.
I talk to myself in the car a lot, but like, I feel kind of crazy. I should work on the accents in the car. That's smart.
What about like a gay guy?
Mainly in the car, I like do bits, you know, like in my head.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
trying to figure
I
out.
yap.
Uh-huh.
I yap. I work shit out in the car. Do a gay guy, a gay accent, gay voice, but a straight guy.
I want to fuck that chick. That's fun. That's a good one, dude. The gay guy saying the straightest thing you can think of is a fun character.
Let's go to Applebee's.
I'm not gay. I love fucking.
IPAs are for queers. Let's go to Applebee's and get the $1 margaritas. Then we could fuck later.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe the best version of this podcast would me just bringing on a guest and scrolling through reels of funnier comics.
And then us just being like, could have thought of that. Fucking idiot. Guy's such a hack.
There's this guy named, there's this comic that does like videos making fun of IKEA, and he has almost 1 million followers from it. And I'm like, what the fuck is
Why
going
are we
on in
not
the
finding
world?
a niche?
Right,
you know?
dude.
Like,
Maybe I could do a drug addict character. That'd
could.
be fun.
100%. Because you kind of just do that.
Yeah, right.
Like
I
method-
know all
method
that
act.
stuff.
Yeah. My least favorite form of content that like makes my blood boil and I hate it is like do you ever see the reels? They're like a reaction video, but they're not even talking. It's just someone's fucking dumb face stitched in to another video.
And they're like,
Yeah. But they have nothing to fucking offer.
yeah.
That's
the
like,
worst.
I kind of want you to get united.
Uh-huh.
Like, dude, you got to, like, those people got to go.
Yeah. I mean, we could just start like a
Like
Like,
a beef for vendetta type
yeah.
of
like an assassin's guild.
Yeah. For shitty content creators.
Yeah. Oh, V for Vendetta.
So I don't even give a shit if I don't like it, but you're doing something. Like everyone hates those fat guys that go to Costco.
Uh-huh.
This is like those 2 fat guys that go to Costco and they eat chicken bakes and shit.
Oh, whatever.
I don't care. Like I don't like it, but
Yeah.
at least they're doing something.
Right, man.
They're going, they go, oh, no, I'm a Costco guy. Of course I get the chicken bake while I walk around. You're dying, but that's okay. You're doing something.
Yeah.
I just don't like when people don't do shit. And I think that's where like people's hatred for fucking like only like hot chicks comes from too. It's
Oh,
like,
for sure. People's hatred for hot chicks. Also because they don't fuck me.
yeah, that will, yeah.
No, I'm just,
But you get the idea. It's
That's
like, it's
probably-
like that same type of hatred, but applied to like a content creator is wild that that's happening.
yeah.
Because the content creator, I don't even care that they're not going to fuck me.
Yeah.
It's just their face. I want them to die.
Yeah. It sucks when something that bad pops up in your feed. You're like, why am I even getting, like, it makes you hate being on there. When
Yeah.
But the good ones make you happy. So
Dude,
you're
those-
like, why give me the, I know.
Do you ever see a little square and you go, well, if I click that, the algorithm's going to pick it up?
Oh, dude, my
I can't
whole
do it.
thing is just black women with big tits and curly hair. So It's too late for me. I've already clicked on all the things.
Mine, I clicked on shit too much. Every 6 months, my algorithm just becomes breastfeeding tutorials. It's just a lady with a doll.
Yeah, how does some of the
her-
shit that ends up on
Her
Instagram
clearly
end
not
up on there?
breastfeeding nipple.
Yeah.
It's like still a perfect little pink nipple.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Somehow I ended up on the Taliban's Instagram the other
You
day.
sent me that. I kind of
Okay, I'll find it for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's content.
They really love those Hilux Toyotas.
Oh,
You
hell
know what
yeah,
I'm talking
dude.
about?
Fuck yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, they got this.
really
They got some
fuck with
sick
those.
Toyotas over there. Dude, I have a hat sitting in a cart on some website, and it's like a Helix, and it's like for regime changes on a budget. It's like one of those technicals with the big machine guns on the
People
back.
like hate on them on the Taliban.
The Taliban?
Yeah, people hate on the Taliban, you know, but
Dude, I mean, talk about their
and Al Qaeda and all those cool guys over there.
I don't agree with their values.
But I understand wanting to shoot guns out of the back of pickup trucks.
I just think it's impressive what they're getting done with essentially rocks and twigs and a bunch of leftover weapons from the Soviets, and now us.
Yeah. They really care. That's the thing.
Oh, actually, I go back. They're passionate. I don't like that.
Yeah. About their political views. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, never mind, I'm out. Out on the Taliban.
I don't care what you're into, but when you're chopping people's hands off,
Yeah.
I'm out.
But I mean, if we started chopping people's hands off for stealing, think about
Depends on what they're stealing.
Yeah. I know, right?
What would be a...
Somebody told me a story about somebody shoplifted in front of these cops, and it was like $20 worth of stuff. And they just made him pay for it. To be like such an embarrassing thief that the cops just like, hey, buddy, why don't you just like, we're not going to the station. Just come back in here and pay for that.
They treat you like a child in the 60s.
Yeah.
They just make you pay for the
What
candy bar.
what if you double down and you're just like, no, I can't afford it. The reason I'm stealing this is because I need it. Like,
What are you stealing?
I ate food probably. I hope
Like a
that's
loaf
what
of
it was.
bread?
They said it was at a grocery store.
If I were
yeah.
a cop and they're stealing a loaf of bread, I'd be like, eat that.
The guy told me he worked there. He saw it happen.
Eat that entire loaf right
Yeah.
now, like a pack of cigarettes.
I'll tell you a crazy story about You know, I was into shoplifting. I've told
I
you a
know
little
you're
bit
into
about-
drugs.
Yeah, so when I got into drugs, I got into shoplifting, and
They kinda
go hand to hand when you're desperate. My next door neighbor was really cool and would trade me weed for groceries, so I'd just go shoplift a bunch of shit and bring it to him.
Get some more
to
Mortadella.
so that was like free weed forever.
Yeah.
And he was a weed dealer, so it was like a really
And he based it on the value of the groceries. So if you went over with a couple cans of yams, he's like, here's like a pinch of weed.
yeah.
But if you go over there with like a ribeye, he's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. And
so
I would cut him like a pretty
post-apocalyptic.
good deal, you know, but like
Trade and barter system.
yeah, exactly. So I got really into it, and then when I quit doing meth, it was like my reason for living.
You're shoplifting?
Yeah, it was like
So you quit the drugs, but you kept on
because I
stealing?
knew now I'm like sober, focused, and
good.
know how easy it is. I got good
yeah,
and a lot smarter about it. I went during Halloween. I went to a thrift store and I stole like 10 different wigs. Every day I would wear a different wig with like a beanie over it or a baseball hat.
You're a disguise
I would
level
put on disguises.
shoplifter.
I would put on reading glasses.
Yeah.
Different reading glasses or not wear glasses. I would like grow my facial hair or shave it. So I'm constant. And then I had different outfits that all kind of like looked like different people. Like one of them would be like athletic and sporty. One would be kind of like business casual.
One would be like,
And like I would go just shoplifting like 9 to 5.
do you ever do a different race? Go, what? You keep the PlayStation 5?
During Halloween, I asked Hannibal Cowens, you know Hannibal?
Yeah.
I asked him if he thought I could do blackface if I dressed up as Jimmy Kimmel doing Karl Malone. I was like, that way I'm making fun of a white person who was racist. Like,
Yeah, it's like Inception, but for blackface.
right. And he was like, no, I don't think you could do it. And I was like, I know.
Hannibal, who's like one of the fucking nicest, friendliest guys ever, gets all serious. Nah.
I don't think you should do that.
Eric-
I'm not giving you permission as your
Eric,
only black
please.
friend. No, that's not true. Lamar. Shout out Lamar.
I feel like Lamar would be cool with it, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Lamar would Lamar would be the devil on your shoulder. That's like, do it, white boy.
Lamar is constantly co-signing bullshit I do and keeping me out of trouble. So thank God for that. Dude, the other day at the mic, he was like, this is my podcast partner. Anything he says, I stand by. I went up there. I was like, Lamar and I are lovers. We're gay together. He's like, no, what? Not that.
You broke the number 1 black rule. No gay stuff.
I was like, I knew he'd hate that. Black people are super homophobic. Which, chill with that, guys. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's 2024. It's about to be 2025. That's fucking with my mind. I make schedules at work and, for when I need to see people, and we've gotten to the point where we're into, like, what I'm scheduling is into 2025, and I keep forgetting to put 2025 on, like, January 1st, 2024, and I'm like, oh, no, that's a year ago, buddy.
How old are you?
33. I'm going to turn 34 in February.
So we're like the same age. I just turned 34.
Yeah.
So like I have this like reference of time is expanding, right?
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about it in these weird ways, like the year 2000. So like we're 25 years past the year 2000. Mm-hmm. I remember the year 2000. The 25 years before that was 1975. So that kind of jump is the same amount of like, I'm like, holy shit.
That's
and then
crazy.
I think about like my parents, how they must have been like.
This is what I think about similar shit like that.
Yeah, like one minute you're chilling in the 70s smoking shitty doobies, and the next you're like, it's the year 9/11's happening. You're like,
what I think about is like, it's basically 2025 right now. I think about how different the world was in 2015. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is the world going to be in 2035? Like, it feels like you won't even recognize it.
No, especially with every time.
With how the things change so fast now.
Every decade there's like a new huge development, right?
Yeah.
Like the 2000s was really the internet.
Yeah.
Coming up, and then the 2010s was really like social media.
Yeah.
And then the 2020s I feel like is like AI.
Yeah.
Like we're in the AI era.
Right.
The 2030s is going to be.
It's be like, what even? We don't even know what's going to be popping off maybe.
Going back to just minimalism and being Amish.
It's the Stone Ages. This is the world.
The nuclear wars happened. We're just trading ribeyes for
never
weed.
know, dude. It's very hard to like care about your future when you have all that kind of shit on your mind. You're like, do I need my savings? Really?
Yeah, I like involuntarily have to now because I spawned.
Yeah. Whoops.
I didn't pull out. Now I have to think about my future.
Yeah. Remember when we were kids and they're like, yeah, global warming's a thing, but it like won't affect our lifetimes. And now it's like 20 years later and they're like, it's now, buddy.
And I have a kid who's like going to be in the fucking trenches of it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows how bad that'll even pop off. It feels, anybody who like denies it at this point feels kind of crazy to me because it's like, doesn't the weather feel different to you?
Every summer's worse.
Every summer's worse. Everywhere's hotter. Everywhere gets less snow.
What I don't get is what's so bad about it?
Yeah, hell yeah, brother.
People from we get snowbirds, like winters suck. Why is it such a bad thing that it's warm out? I mean, the ice caps are melting and sea levels are raising, but it's like, don't people invent greenhouses to keep plants warm?
Yeah, right.
Like
I'm with you.
I think we're gonna be all
be
right
fine.
For 50 more years.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
I think for like the next few decades, it's just gonna be all right.
It does kind of suck that like it doesn't snow like it used to.
Yeah, and we're gonna lose Miami, but
Miami. Well, there's nothing in Miami I care about.
Literally nothing. I'm kind of glad they're going.
This is gonna sound racist. Miami's basically Latin America. So. No, I'm kidding. None of this is real.
We'll be able to revisit it in Grand Theft Auto 6.
That was a Tony Hinchcliffe impression.
It's a garbage island.
Miami's a garbage town.
It's kind of a shithole town.
Is it? I've never been.
I've never been either.
You're like, but fuck them.
But I know a guy who knows a guy who's been. He's like,
it does seem like a lot of scammy hot people trying to scam.
No, I'd go check it out. It seems like a douchier LA.
Yeah.
Like a LA, but with more.
Yeah, like if LA didn't have Hollywood and just relied on the porn industry.
Like a tackier LA.
Yeah. Because
in LA, everyone wants to be like, fucking, I don't care.
Yeah.
In Miami, they care.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. comic Sam Morrill tells stories about how like when you perform in Miami, everybody shows up to the show like 45 minutes late or whatever. Like,
why is that, Eric?
No, I don't think it's because of that, but maybe.
No, I've heard that the Miami Improv is like one of the worst clubs in the country.
Yeah,
you ever heard that?
Mm-hmm.
People just it's a.
I'm sure people just
show.
heckle. They're drunk. They're late. They don't care about the show, and they're just there as like a night out. Like I remember I used to date this really. The woman I did meth with, this really attractive woman, and she loved like.
Was she genuinely really attractive?
She was so. I'll show you pictures later.
All right, cool pictures.
As cool as I have access to. She loved going out to like. I always thought it was weird. Like she really liked going to like baseball games with me, like Mariners games and anything that like was out in public. But it was just because she liked the process of like getting hot in a Mariners jersey, and then like being out and having people look at her. Like, and
is that all the value she applied to herself?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know. I hope she was matured by now. I really followed that woman down a bad path.
That's sad. I'm lucky as an unattractive man. I've had to build my value in other ways.
Yeah. No, I mean, the smartest thing you can do is not date someone super attractive.
Super hot. It's sad. It is sad, though, when you meet a chick and like
run you over.
You go, whoa. All of your value and self-worth is based on how fucking hot you could get.
Dude, I get like suspicious of hot women now. I'm like, why is she smiling at me? Don't do that. Yeah. Leave me alone.
No, you know what I like is just living with the assumption that most chicks don't want to fuck you.
Oh,
and then life is so easy.
I know that it's not an assumption.
And then they're like, this guy's super easygoing and confident.
Hey,
you're like, no, it's because...
That's incredible advice. Yes. And it's not an assumption. Most women don't want to fuck you. Don't.
The general man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's some handsome guys who.
There's some people that clean up for sure, dude. Some people are just blessed.
There's a couple handsome dudes who are like, shut up.
Dude, my friend, one of my best friends from Oregon, dude, he is not handsome. He is so goofy looking. He has these huge, thick glasses that make his eyes huge.
Waspy.
And he's so skinny. He never wears shorts because he's embarrassed of how his legs look. He's skinny. He's like 115 pounds, dude. He fucking cleans up, dude. He broke up a marriage of another comic in the Eugene comedy scene, and he got like ostracized from the scene. Like he can't do comedy there anymore because everybody's.
That's the other problem. That's the other problem is when you don't get enough pussy, and then you get a little taste. Yeah. You get greedy.
And like 3 different like really hot women have all like chosen this guy, and I cannot. Like one of them was like a basketball player that's taller than him. I'm like, why is she fucking him?
Is he tall though? No.
He's like my height.
Because I was gonna say this tall, lanky white guys have huge dongs.
Yeah,
all the time.
He does have a problem. I'm putting all of his business out there. He does have a problem where he has that difficulty coming. So he apparently lasts like really long in bed. Maybe people like that.
What's this problem called? Is it contagious?
I'll suck his dick for it.
Suck this guy's dick for that problem. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite problem that I have.
So can you take a look, doctor? I last too long.
Good thing some women like it when you come in 45 seconds. You know what I mean. Women who don't like sex.
when they go,
thank God it's over.
They go, make it quick. The unenthusiastic.
They're both flattered that like they're hot enough you could get it done in that time, and happy they don't have to have sex with you any longer.
Yeah, that's. No. Eric, I could nut in a urinal if I needed to. I don't even need a woman around.
I don't even need my phone.
Standing there at the trough of a baseball game.
They would call that your second period routine. Take you back to high school.
9 hot dogs, 9 beers,
Dude,
and 9
there
nuts.
was a story, probably at every high school. Was this story at your high school that somebody got caught jerking off in the...
my high school had a teacher that fucked a student. That was
God, that's a big one.
But yeah, the jerking off.
That happened a lot at schools too. I think
locker rooms, bathrooms, they all have jerking off lore, and it's all true.
Mm-hmm. It's all
It's all true. It's all just, and you only scratch the surface when you hear a story.
Yeah.
Summer school, I jerked off in the bathroom once.
Yeah.
It was a different high school, so I felt like it wasn't.
Yeah. I did it in middle school one time.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you gotta go.
The bathroom there was private, though. It was like a one stall, and you could close the door and lock it. So it's like, this is money, dude.
This is Laguna Hills High School, and it's like sitting there for hours.
Damn, that means I must have been 12 or 13 when I did this, and no phones. So I was just going memory.
Yeah, the iPhone wasn't around yet.
I used to be a little champ when I was 13.
Memory's the best, dude. I think phones ruined jerking off.
God, dude. If I could go back to when I was a kid, I think I would.
You'd go back?
Yeah, I think I would. It was fun, dude. I had such a sick childhood. I grew up on this island called Whidbey Island near Seattle.
Just right off the coast there?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
like a little island.
It's a little island. We had to take a boat to get to, like, we called it the mainland or the other side.
Yeah.
You got to go to the mainland.
But everything you needed was on the island. It was big
there's
enough
grocery
for that.
stores and hardware stores and stuff like that. School was on the island.
Yeah.
But
I remember you kind of told me about this before.
Most sports, I would have to go across the water. Like after our high school, we basically all the other teams we played were across the boat. So we'd get out of school super early because we had to go catch the ferry and shit. So like, you got out of school at like sometimes at like 12 to go play sports. It's pretty sick. So I played as many sports as possible just to get out of school.
I do remember you telling me that because you told me a story about how like some guy from not on the island or something, you're at a party and he smoked a cigarette. People beat the shit out of him.
Well, they fucking stomped his cigarette. They asked him for a cigarette and just fucking, they didn't beat the shit out of him. But he took the cigarette and acted like he was going to take a drag and then just threw it on the ground and stomped it out in front of the guy.
That's the dorkiest thing I've ever heard.
Fuck your cigarette. Yeah, it's so dorky, dude.
25,000 Americans.
It was weird. People would like smoke weed, but not cigarettes, and give you mad shit if you smoke tobacco.
How do you get weed on the island? Do you have to go to the mainland and pick up?
No, there's like dealers around.
Oh, no.
But like they would probably go pick up from like.
How long is that?
But actually, a lot of people on the island grew weed, so it was around. It was
you're up in near Seattle,
dude. It was near Seattle. It's like a really rural island where like a bunch of houses just out in the woods with nothing around. Like. It's a great place to grow weed. One of the best. I ran a company there for a while that was doing cannabis extractions where I'd make like hash oil
on the island.
And some of the best weed growers I've ever met live up there, dude. And the guy I started doing meth with, his whole fucking gig was robbing grow houses. That's like what he did. Dude, he'd just find grow houses and rob them, steal all the weed,
steal the weed.
And dude, honestly, he just loved robbing houses. And he just figured that out. That was the way to make the most money.
It was his passion in life.
He's such a little shit, dude. He's so insane.
Was he good at it, or was
he was like insanely good at it?
Make
dude.
plans and everything.
Oh my
like
god, dude!
This one
time, my girlfriend cheated on me with this guy that had just grown a bunch of weed. And I was like, "Fuck this guy!" And so I got that guy to rob him, and he stole like 30 pounds of weed from this dude's house.
And then he just flips it.
Yeah, he owed me a bunch of money. He gave it all to me. It was
30
so
pounds.
sick, dude. It was so sick. I had 30 pounds of weed, dude.
I would for sure make like a little stool, something. You gotta do something cool with 30 pounds of weed.
A throne made of marijuana. But, yeah. Wow, that was a crazy place to go. That guy used to drive around just constantly speeding. And if the cop like flipped and tried to pull him over, he'd just run every time.
You just not ever stop.
Yeah, never.
Jesus.
It's so crazy.
I was in Seattle the day weed got legalized there.
Yeah, sick. That was a fun day.
It was a fun day.
Yeah.
We flew in for a fight because there was like a UFC that weekend.
Yeah.
Me and my chick get in town, and it's just like coincidentally, the day we land is like the day they legalized weed in Washington. Mm-hmm. And so go to the hotel. We get like this cute, like quaint little hotel, and they have a roof like where you smoke. Mm-hmm. And I asked the guy, I'm like, "Hey, is it cool if now that weed's legal here, we smoke weed on the roof?" He's like, "Dude, people have been smoking weed on that roof for like 50 fucking years. You know? It's fine.
You're good." It didn't make like much difference until yeah.
But they didn't have anything set up for you to buy it yet.
No, of course, yeah.
So being a tourist, I had to still, hey man. Like on the street, like if I smelt weed, I'm like, "Hey man," and we're at like I forgot like a Dave and Buster's type place, and this black guy pushing a stroller walks by, and I just smell weed.
And you're like, hey, man, come here, man.
Hey, man, the black guy is pushing his kid in a stroller, and he had it. So he facilitated a drug deal
with his kid there.
And then
that's the most Seattle shit I've heard.
Yeah, and he goes, take my number, bro, and like take his number. And he's like, you need anything else? If you guys want to party harder, let me know. I was like, all right, cool. And then so I picked up again. I texted him because I needed to pick up again later the next day or something because I only bought like a half a gram or a gram or something. Mm-hmm. And then so now he had my number, and I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and then he's like, yo, what are you doing tonight, bro? Like, he's trying to hang out and shit. I was like,
what are you doing tonight, bro?
Like, what the fuck, dude? It was so weird. I'm like, I'm stoned in a hotel room watching fucking Practical Jokers.
Our interaction's over, buddy. I'm like, we're done.
I hate when a drug dealer wants to hang out, dude. It's so weird. Sucks. And they're sad, lonely. Like, a lot of times they're lonely people.
That, one of the main people I bought meth from when I was in Seattle pulled that same move with me with the kid who showed up one time with a baby in a car seat in the back, and I was just like, what in the fuck? Dude, I had to deal with so many situations that just made my stomach fucking turn and be like, this is not acceptable.
No, I know, but it's like you're already in a world where like the guy sells meth.
That's his job. It's all he does. Yeah.
And also morally,
dude, that guy was so insanely good at selling meth that fucking the first time I ever saw him, he rode up on a bike. The next time I saw him, he's in a car. Next time I see him, he has 2 cars. This is within a month and a half. Yeah,
you get to see his progression.
Yeah, he has 2 cars, and he has like his girlfriend driving one and doing deliveries for him.
NBA ballers.
Yeah, and then he's also out making deliveries, and like just watching this dude rise.
He hired help.
He hired help, and then. Hired, threatened, whatever. Who knows why she was doing it.
You want to deliver this bitch? I'm a fucking
you better. He was so nuts, dude. I remember I sold him my car because I just like was living in Seattle and I kept getting parking tickets and it just was like a pain having a car and I didn't really need one for anything. So I sold him my car for like $800 and some meth.
What kind of car was this?
It was like a beat up Chevy Impala. I'd crashed it a couple times at this point.
Yeah, it's $800 and some meth.
Yeah, I was like, I'm fine with that. I was just tired of getting parking ticket. But so I knew his car. So one time I see that car
because it was your car.
Yeah, and it's so fucked up, and I just see it parked on the street, and I'm like, oh, I wonder. And I walk by, and he's passed out in the driver's seat like this with a scale with meth on it, and like. It must have been $6,000 in cash on his lap. And I just like knocked on the window and he was like, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what are you doing?
You're so lucky it's me right now.
As
like,
a buddy, you knocked on the window?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude, thanks. And like scoops the meth all up. And like, he's like, thanks, man. What are you doing right now? Can I come sleep at your house?
He's on that Xanax?
No. He only did meth. But he would not go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he would just like stay up for hours and hours and hours. And then at some point you just can't. They call it falling out. If you do that, if you just stay up on meth and use it to never go to sleep at some point, your brain just clicks off and you just like slump somewhere.
It's just like an off switch?
Uh-huh.
Like you're
it's
getting
crazy. It's crazy. And you just wake up somewhere and you're like, oh,
And this is well past like the shadow people stage already?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever fuck on meth?
Mm-hmm, a lot. It's the best. It kind of ruins sex.
That's what everyone says. Yeah. Like meth is like
it's crazy.
It's
so crazy. Yeah.
What's the smallest, safest amount of meth I could take to try? Is there a level of meth I could do without getting addicted?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure, but like I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I know. Oh, it's just really
people
cool.
do, but like people do it for that specifically. Though, like once a month.
Some people, but I'm not like that. Like I have addictive personality, so I would not do that.
Me too. I'm not.
I watched this cool documentary I think you'd be into. Have you ever seen this shit? I forgot what it's called, but it's on Netflix. It might be called How to Rob a Bank.
I haven't seen it.
It's a documentary.
Sounds great.
It's awesome. It's this dude who's I think up in fucking the Northwest, and he like studying chemistry. He like starts to be able to produce really good meth, and he's one of those guys who can just do a little, like recreationally. Yeah. But he's a weird fucking dude. Yeah. So he just goes out into the woods and builds this fucking huge elaborate treehouse.
Yeah.
On meth, but it's like really nice.
Yeah.
And he's butt naked the whole time. It's like people come visit him, and there's videos, and they don't blur it out. It's just a
That's
big old
sick.
dick. He's just up in a treehouse. And then,
That's
anyways,
sick.
he starts to need money, so he starts to rob banks.
Why don't they blur it out?
It's the coolest fucking story ever. It's the coolest, a fucking nudist treehouse building meth head who starts robbing banks like very effectively.
That's awesome.
I love anything.
I
Big
mean,
it's awesome.
That makes the most sense. Like you're the least trackable if you live in a, you know, you don't have an
unlisted
address.
treehouse.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that's like a good place to start if you're a criminal is living someplace without an address.
Yeah.
That's not under camera surveillance.
Yeah, they get your name. They can't just show.
I mean,
up
the
somewhere.
least you can live with is the best, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's also against human nature. It's like we always want to
I wonder where, like,
have a home base.
I wonder where you could sleep. Dude, I guess that guy shot that CEO.
Yeah.
Supposedly stayed in a hostel that he paid for in cash. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know any place that you could sleep allowed you to just pay in cash. Like, you check into a hotel, they're like, where's your credit card,
I stayed
dipshit?
in some motels that pay cash back in the day.
I think that's over, though, dude. I bet if you check into a motel
is like
now
15 years
and
ago.
you're like, I got cash, they're like, yeah, we also need a card to, like, for,
if you destroy the room.
yeah.
But I'm sure you could find like really sleazy places.
Yeah.
Because there's still those motels where they know like people are going there to fuck hookers.
Because
So-
I was thinking about if I went on the run, I would have no problem, like feeding myself.
Yeah.
And like, if you like really needed to disappear, I'd just be in public all the time, like in malls or whatever.
Yeah, but there's all those cameras in malls.
Yeah, but
Feeding yourself, you
not,
mean buying fast food with cash?
yeah.
But
Or
sleeping-
no, like or shoplifting, like
Yeah.
mainly
back
shoplifting.
to your old days.
I would, dude. Because my assumption is if like you don't have that much money, so I'm shoplifting all my food,
Yeah.
paying for cash for like public transport if I need to go anywhere.
Baby, if I'm on the run, it's because I have a lot of money. So whatever the reason is, it's because I'm not going to be on the run because I killed somebody.
No, but you have a limited amount of money, I guess, is my point.
Okay.
You know?
So limited amount of money, shoplift, sure.
Yeah.
Sleeping situation,
That's the hard part to me.
car.
Yeah.
You have a car.
Yeah, but you don't want to be in your own car. If
Yeah,
you're like on the run.
if you're
you gotta
shoplifting,
go get, you gotta
you
like
get
steal.
caught.
You know what would be the best skill to have as a criminal? I'm gonna learn how to steal cars, I think.
Yeah, I've heard it's not very difficult either.
I'm gonna get into it.
Dude, those Kias and Hondas.
Dude, those clearly it's not
Kia
that
boys?
difficult, dude. They're
Yeah, they're
fucking
like eighth
jacking
graders.
them.
They'll sell you a stolen car for $100,
Dude.
so that you could go rob a place or shoot a guy, and then you just ditch the car. It's just $100 investment.
Being a gang member seems fun.
It seems very fucking fun, and is a big fantasy of mine. Growing up in suburban California in the early 2000s, late 90s, when that shit was like, it was the coolest. I grew up on black gangster movies.
I just want to like smoke weed and hang out with my buddies all day.
Yeah, and then like pour one out.
Shoot
for,
people I hate.
You have a couple buddies who are dead, and you remember them fondly.
That's true of me now.
The barbecues look the best.
Yeah.
Those get-togethers they have,
Right.
it's like the ribs and the camaraderie of.
Yeah, that's true of me
Fellow
now. My friends
criminals.
just died in a DUI accident instead of getting shot, but like, you know, potato, tomato.
Yeah, getting shot's way cooler. Sorry about your friend. I'm genuinely sorry about your friend. But it would be so much cooler if you
Got
was
shot.
in a shootout with the
That'd be
enemy.
crazy. There was a guy
opposition.
at my high school. They made us watch this documentary, I think my senior year of high school, about this guy that went to the same high school as us. And he got into meth and got into debt. And the meth dealers convinced him to kill somebody for them. And he had to like,
That was his way of paying the debt.
he got caught and had to like go to prison. And like, Jesus Christ, that's one way to pay a debt, I
Because
guess.
he's a meth head.
Yeah. But like, no, yeah.
Not a professional.
Dude, dude. As somebody who's done a lot of meth, it would not be that hard to convince somebody to murder somebody
it's
on
funny
meth.
the idea of stabbing someone in a 7-Eleven, looking up at the camera. And then on the news, the picture they show is you making that face.
The Shane Gillis face. Oh my God, dude.
I love love when the news picks a bad picture. And
it's always a bad picture.
It's always on purpose.
Yeah, it's the funnest job.
Go frame by frame, find the dumbest facial expression on people.
Being that guy is the funnest job.
Who picks the pictures?
Yeah. You're like, what do we got here? What do we got? I can't find my mugshot. The Seattle police departments don't post their mugshots. I'm so mad.
You never saved it?
I've never seen it.
What year was it? You could request. They have it
2016.
somewhere in a database.
Really? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, because if you get wanted now, they'll pull that.
Yeah.
That's the picture they'll go off of.
Right.
Or your driver's license.
Yeah. I wonder how you request. I'll look that up. I want it so
Call
bad.
them in person.
That would be a fucking sick merch shirt.
Call them.
Why don't more people do that? Most comics probably have mugshots. You have a mugshot.
I don't. I've never.
You've never you didn't get a DUI? No. Who was that? Derek? Did Derek get one?
I don't think Derek has a DUI. Either.
Who got a DUI? Who am I thinking of? What fat guy got a DUI?
They'll never catch me, dude. I'm too fucking good at what I do. I'm too fucking skilled at what I do.
I end like most mics that I run with. I'm like, hey, thanks for being here. We're here every week at whatever time. Please tip your bartenders well. Please don't drink and drive. And people literally laugh at me like I'm joking. I'm like, okay, whatever. Somebody last time I was like, please don't drink and drive. Somebody was like, too late, buddy. I was just like, all right. I love it. Love it, Arizona. Same guy that liked all my racist jokes.
It would be the same guy. We're gonna drink and drive. Don't like blacks.
Yeah.
Who's fat and got a DUI?
I don't.
Let's play that game. Play that game.
I legitimately do like 50% of comics have DUIs. It's crazy.
I know a handful.
It's more than you think. Most people just don't have a reason to really bring it up.
A DUI is kind of a dumb thing to make a shirt about. I think it would be funner if it was like a cool crime.
Like meth addiction.
I think if you get arrested because you fucking fought a heckler. And then he beat the shit out of you in your mugshot. You're all bloody and stuff.
Did you see that guy that got beat up because he told some comic in like England or somewhere got beat up because he said somebody's daughter was gonna grow up and fuck a bunch of black guys, and the guy showed up to his show.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I did see that. And it wasn't even on. Like I was like talking shit on Twitter.
Yeah, and then he showed up to his show.
Which I love that.
Yeah, he sold a ticket.
I love that. You sold a ticket. Also, this is a real world, baby. You can't be telling people their daughters are going to be sluts for black guys.
Dude, it's a wild line to cross.
It's a wild line to cross. Yeah. And then to do the classic, like, over the keyboard, and then the guy shows up, and you're like, oh,
you know who Rich Voss is?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Some comic in New York told Rich Voss at a holiday party that he was going to fuck his daughter, and Rich Voss, like, karate kicked him and broke his rib. And I guess Sam Morrill was talking to him because he was like friends with the guy, and he was like, "Man, what happened?" And he's like, "Rich kicked me," and he was like, "Well, he said you said you were gonna fuck his daughter." He's like, "Yeah, I said that."
Wheezing.
He's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, buddy." You can't say that to people.
I still,
I could see like. The comic in me totally gets it, though. It's like nothing's sacred in our world. Like, we don't respect anything.
No. Yeah.
Like, thing for a joke. If I can trigger you, I'm gonna say that thing just to see if it triggers you.
I like living. I like the idea that you should be able to say anything, and then you should also sometimes deal with the consequences of saying.
Yeah. Me too. And also, I would never fuck with somebody's kids like that.
Yeah,
like that's just so crazy.
A lot of us were like smart ass kids.
Yeah.
So look. I'm used to like talking shit and knowing that like I might get my fucking ass kicked in a second, being a fucking little dickhead. People forget that, dude. And then it's like, and then a guy's showing up at your show and beat your ass.
Right.
Just go out on your shield.
Yeah. You just can't get like personal with people. I say a lot of horrible shit on stage, but like as long as you're not like being personal about it, like black people love most of the jokes I make about black people.
Yeah. Because they're not from a place A, like they're not malicious jokes.
Yeah, we're just fucking around.
They're funny. You're fucking around, and you deliver them in a way that they know that.
I think that's important. Yeah. You know, like we can always tell when somebody's just trying to be fucked up and they're not trying to be funny. Really, they're like just the fucked up part is funny to them, and you're like always anything we say is like, if I say something racist, kind of the punchline is always that like racism is dumb, you know, in a weird way.
The same exact way right now. Yeah. Like that Zubit I have about there's a black bear.
Even if it's me doing it ironically, it's like the punchline is, this is stupid.
And it's as long as the black people are laughing, everyone else can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, right.
And that's how it's always been. So every time I tell that joke, those are the biggest laughs I get in the room. Just fucking suck my dick.
As long as my comic friends are laughing.
Have you ever been scolded by an audience member after? Like in the parking lot?
No, not after. I did one time have I did like 10 or 15 minutes at a show in Eugene a couple months ago. And when I was like, all right, guys, I'm about to get out of here. And this woman goes, please. And I was like, please. Like, I was already going to go home and crash my car on purpose on the way. Like, fuck you. I hate it. Like,
just set you off. You stay a little longer.
Yeah. And just like went into her. But I was like, look, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me hate me more than I already do. Like,
yeah. I did a few like benefit charity shows.
Yeah.
Very low level stuff. Like helping kids, pay for Little League equipment and shit like that. But sometimes it'd be something sad.
Yeah.
So I did one. I didn't know what it was for, but I got sent over there, and the producer on the way is like, hey, it's for some girl who got killed. I need, like, they're trying to get money for her funeral and shit and all this stuff. I'm like, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's a bad
Why
idea.
are we going to do comedy at this? And then I go to this bar. They treat it like a fucking wake. Like, she's not there.
But they're
but they're in black.
Yeah.
The people are greeting and crying and hugging each other on arrival. And they're like, Gage got you up first. I'm like, what the fuck? I go on stage. Bomb. Like behind the crowd is a big mural of her, and she was a chola, so it's one of these pictures. And in like old English, it's just like, rest in peace, whatever. Yes, that was shitty, but like
that sounds horrible.
That was like not that they hated me in that circumstantially they did. The fact that I was doing comedy at this thing, and I'm like, I don't have material that's going to be relatable for your situation right now.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. So I'm just doing my material. And when I got off stage, it was like a bunch of sighs, and the next guy, it was.
Did anybody do good?
Dude, who was on that fucking show too? George Perez. Do you know who George Perez is?
No, not really.
Okay, he's like this Mexican comic out of LA. He's very fucking funny. But he went up like last and actually did pretty good. That's how fucking good he is. It was the weirdest show I've ever done. And then another one the guy sent me. But that was like just that feeling. And then there's another one they sent me to that was like free Big Rob. I get to the place and I'm like, I asked the guy who's hosting, I'm like, so what did this Rob guy do? And he goes, I don't know. And they said not to ask the family or something. I'm like, who the fuck am I? I'm like doing a charity. But
You're like, this isn't possible. How do you do comedies in this situation without addressing the context?
I don't know why they
booked
booked these shows.
It's insane.
I did them. And then on the free Big Rob one, I'm doing 20, eating dick. And then I go, all right, I'll close out on one more thing before I go. And this lady goes, oh, thank God. Like very audibly. Yeah, fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's the worst. When I was like months into doing comedy, I did a mic that was 10 minutes, which shouldn't exist, but it did. Yeah. And probably 5 minutes.
But remember how happy you were in that moment?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Oh, my God. And then you realize it's still an open mic, so you're just bombing for twice as long.
Yeah.
But, so, like, halfway through my set, I'm, like, kind of get lost, and I asked the host, I'm like, hey, man, how much time do I got left? He's like, you got, like, 5 minutes, dude. And somebody in the audience just went, Jesus Christ.
Your cadence on stage now, did you start with that?
Ish.
Yeah? You've always kind of had that style?
Mm-hmm.
But
I think so. I'm sure it's come together a lot more. I'm sure I'm finding my voice or whatever.
Yeah. But your jokes were shit.
Yeah. I mean, I was so bad at comedy. Like, I get so jealous of the people that excel very quickly.
Yeah.
People like Aldo or like, I'm trying to, I can't think of me. He's a good example. Yeah. People that are very new to comedy, but get comfortable on stage very quickly. Dude, like, I feel like the first couple years I was doing comedy, I was very awkward and had a hard time, like, being comfortable.
Yeah. I think I was like good stage presence, but my my jokes suck. My writing sucked.
Interesting, yeah. I think always, because I've always been kind of a writer and like just naturally I think of words easily. I think all of that came to me very easily. I'm like the exact opposite of you.
Opposite problems, yeah.
It's so strange, and I get so jealous of natural performers because
grass is greener.
It took me so long, yeah.
I wish I was a better writer.
Yeah, I get it. The grass is always greener. Do you have anything you want to plug? For the 40 people that listen to this that already know you.
I'm like, what am I? Oh, Wednesday I'll be at featuring at Stir Crazy.
This will be really?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be over there with
I'll come hang out.
Come hang out, yeah.
I've been going to Bogies, but I don't know. Maybe, dude. He just got me a standby spot last week, so the chance of him doing it again is like pretty low.
Oh, Lamar?
Yeah, because he tries to be fair. So like,
yeah. Lamar is a fair guy.
Yeah,
you
like a little
have to come hang out.
A little too fair. No, I normally would, and then I realized like, I'm probably for sure not gonna get a spot, and then I was like,
yeah, doing that, and then I'm supposed to run over to Chandler to do some bar show at 418 Pizza.
Fuck that show. Come to Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy's Attic Club.
Shout out Stir Crazy. I fuck with y'all. I'll be there tonight.
I do like Stir Crazy.
This will be out after this. Oh, wait, no, tomorrow night. But this will still be out.
I was there. Lamar's about to bring me up one time, and then the owner comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there for that? And
Maybe.
He goes, Lamar's literally about to introduce me at the side of the stage. Owner comes and whispers into Lamar's ear, and Lamar's like, oh, shit. And he goes, okay, everybody, so I guess there's a gas leak. So
I wasn't there. You told me this. That was so funny.
Leave, though, and then come back in and continue. That was
Everybody came back?
Everybody had to leave the building for like 10 minutes. And then they found the source of the gas leak and some valve.
How'd that set go? Did you just talk about the gas leak?
I swung back into it with the gas leak shit.
Yeah, you got to, dude.
Yeah.
That's why you have to, practice being in the moment. And
that would be insane not to.
Like, if you just ran up there and did your, like, normal opener or whatever. Like, give it up for Lamar. All right. How's everybody doing? You know?
Yeah, it was fun.
And a lot of comics, especially newer comics, I was really, really bad at this in the beginning, don't realize how important it is to be dynamic on stage and be willing to adjust your set, willing to the circumstances of the audience.
Yeah.
Because there's things like that. One time, do you know Taco? You know what I'm talking about? One time her boyfriend proposed to her on stage, and Devin Hannock was up next. And he went up there and just fucking destroyed when he was making fun of them. And then he kept trying to transition into his jokes, and the audience was like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, go back to talking about that crazy thing that just happened. Like,
that we're all still thinking about.
All right, like, we cannot move on. Yeah. And sometimes that happens with an audience, and if you don't practice being in the moment and just riffing, especially at mics where things don't matter at all, it's really valuable to just go up and be like, all right, I'm going to riff until I can't bear how bad I'm bombing and then go into my material. You know what I mean? Just to practice it a little bit. I was bad at it.
Me and Sean were at McAndrews were at Devil's one night a few months ago, and Jason the hot dog guy's on stage, and two frat kids started fighting. like 5 feet away from him.
You just got to start like commentating like you're Joe Rogan or something. You can't just and Jason, I know what Jason did. Just ran his material.
Yeah. Oh, he got mad. He was mad at them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like not in a funny way. Yeah. He was like, guys, come on. I'm trying to work here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I see it a lot at mics where people are running jokes when it's like, you shouldn't be doing that right now.
No,
like,
you got to stay.
There's 7 comics who know your jokes that don't want you to run material on us right now.
Or if I'm running it, it's for me.
Anything else?
It's because I'm trying to get the fucking...
Sure. I don't hate that, but also, like, there's better places to do it, you know? So it's like, if you could possibly avoid it.
But yeah, back to staying loosey-goosey so that you could flow with what's happening. Fucking very important, dude.
I think, man.
It's so cringy when someone just doesn't address it at all.
Or when comics are acting like they're crushing when they're bombing, but their like cadence is as if they're doing well. And you're like, we're all in here right now. We can feel it.
They're practicing visualization.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be genuine on stage. It's like so important.
Eric, what do you got coming up?
I'm at Stir Crazy tomorrow night. It will be this podcast will be out after that, so you guys are fucked. I'm just bragging. My favorite thing to do is if I'm ever on a show that's sold out, I stole this from my homie in Denver. If I'm ever on a show that's sold out, I post about it and then post like, it's sold out. You guys can't come. I'm just bragging. I think that shit's so funny.
Sarah's supposed to be on that show tomorrow, but she got butt surgery, so I don't know if she's going to make it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, hey, if you can't, let him know. I know.
Butt surgery?
yeah.
Like
some kind of butt issue she got taken care of.
Oh, like a health thing.
Yeah,
oh my God. I was like, I don't know. I was imagining ass implants, and I was like, Sarah? Are we talking about the same person? Witchy, blue-haired Sarah? That doesn't sound like her.
She had something wrong with her ass and got corrected.
Well, I'm sure she wanted that out there, so. Hopefully people hang in for the end of this podcast. There's a special treat if you do.
Sorry, Sarah Bear.
Anyways, thanks for listening, and thanks for being here, dude.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for having me.